Hello, my name is Kara Augustine, and I'm the Director of Public Programming at Historic Huguenot Street. For the health and safety of our visitors and our entire community, Huguenot Street will be closed to the public for the duration of the COVID-19 pandemic. In an effort to stay engaged with our community and our followers, over the next several weeks, we will be offering a variety of programming virtually. One of the many virtual programs we will be offering is the weekly readings of excerpts from books that we offer in our museum shop. To kick off this series, and in honor of Women's History Month, I will be reading from Dover Thrift Editions' Narrative of Sojourner Truth. One of the most famous and admired African American women in U.S. history, Sojourner Truth, born Isabella Baumfree, sang, preached, and debated at camp meetings across the country, led by her devotion to the anti-slavery movement and her ardent pursuit of women's rights. Born into slavery in 1797, Truth fled from bondage some 30 years later to become a powerful figure in the progressive movements reshaping American society. This remarkable narrative, penned by Olive Gilbert and first published in 1850, offers a rare glimpse into the little documented world of Northern slavery. Truth recounts her life as a slave in rural New York, her separation from her family, her religious conversion, and her life as a traveling preacher during the 1840s. Today, I will read a brief excerpt titled Her Escape. The question in her mind, and one not easily solved now, was, how can I get away? So, as was her usual custom, she told God she was afraid to go in the night, and in the day everybody would see her. At length, the thought came to her that she could leave just before the day dawned, and get out of the neighborhood where she was known before the people were much astir. Yes, she said fervently, that's a good thought. Thank you, God, for that thought. So receiving it as coming direct from God, she acted upon it. And one fine morning, a little before daybreak, she might have been seen stepping stealthily away from the rear of Master Dumont's house, her infant on one arm and her wardrobe on the other, the bulk and weight of which, probably, she never found so convenient as on the present occasion. A cotton handkerchief containing both her clothes and her provisions. As she gained the summit of a high hill, a considerable distance from her master's, the sun offended her by her coming forth in all his pristine splendor. She thought it never was so light before. Indeed, she thought it much too light. She stopped to look about her and ascertain if her pursuers were yet in sight. No one appeared, and for the first time the question came up for settlement. Where and to whom shall I go? In all her thoughts of getting away, she had not once asked herself whither she should direct her steps. She sat down, fed her infant, and again, turning her thoughts to God, her only help, she prayed him to direct her to some safe asylum. Soon it occurred to her that there was a man living somewhere in the direction she had been pursuing by the name of Levi Rowe, whom she had known, and who, she thought, would be likely to befriend her. She accordingly pursued her way to his house, where she found him ready to entertain and assist her, though he was then on his deathbed. He bade her partake of the hospitalities of his house, said he knew of 2 good places where she might get in, and requested his wife to show her where they were to be found. As soon as she came in sight of the first house, she recollected having seen it and its inhabitants before, and instantly exclaimed, "That's the place for me. I shall stop there." She went there and found the good people of the house Mr. and Mrs. Van Wagener, absent, but kindly received and hospitably entertained by their excellent mother till the return of her children. When they arrived, she made her case known to them. They listened to her story, assuring her they never turned the needy away, and willingly gave her employment. She had not been there long before her old master Dumont appeared, as she had anticipated, for when she took French leave of him, she resolved not to go too far from him, and not put him to as much trouble in looking her up, for the latter he was sure to do, as Tom and Jack had done when they ran away from him a short time before. This was very considerate in her, to say the least, and proof that like begets like. He often considered her feelings, though not always, and she was equally considerate. When her master saw her, he said, "Well, Belle, so you've run away from me." "No, I did not run away. I walked away, by daylight, and all because you had promised me a year of my time." His reply was, "You must go back with me." Her decisive answer was, "No, I won't go back with you." He said, "Well, I shall take the child." If you're interested in learning the rest of Isabella's story, you can purchase your own copy of The Narrative of Sojourner Truth from our online shop. Starting today through Tuesday, March 31st, you will receive 10% off of the book's original price of $3 at checkout, plus shipping and handling. If you live locally, you can arrange to come pick up your purchase instead of having it shipped. Thank you for your interest in historic Huguenot Street. Tune in next Wednesday for another reading.